Today we will, before we start our class, I have a short story for you. So you need to listen to me carefully, and then I will have three questions to ask you. Okay, the first one is, what is the story talking about? One of you need to answer the first one. And who promised to put a man on the moon? This is the second question. And the last one, what is your opinion about the story that I will tell you? Okay? So now are you ready? Together, are you ready? Yes. Okay. Who is he? Who knows who is he? Yeah. Who is he? Who knows who is he? Yeah. This is the U.S. president named John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy, he in 1962, he come and tell all of the people that he will put the man on the moon. But why he is saying that he will put the man on the moon is 7 years before the NASA know how to figure it out or know how to put the man on the moon. He just said that he will put the man on the moon, but NASA didn't know how to do it. Okay? And then after that, after he promised to humanities, then in 1970, NASA bring the first man to the moon. Who is he? Who is he? Who knows? Who is he? Who knows? Neil Armstrong. Okay. Yeah. And when the time has come, all of the astronauts. This is Neil Armstrong with his colleague. Neil Armstrong with his colleague just get into the moon. And then after that, this is the hatch. Okay, the hatch. Neil Armstrong just opened the door of the hatch, and then he is the first man on the moon. Okay, he is the first man on the moon after 1970. You get it? How many characters in this story? Who? Who is the first one? John F. Kennedy. The second one? Neil Armstrong. And how many colleagues that come with him? 2. So how many people in this story? 4. Okay, so now let's move to our questions. You want me to random some of you, or you want to do a volunteer? Random? Yeah. Go how? Yeah. Yes, can you stand up please? Yeah, and you should be louder, okay? So the questions is, what is the story talking about?
Galaxy and the moon.
Galaxy and the moon, out of the space, right? Okay, thank you. Hey, yeah. The same questions. What is the story talking about?
The moon.
The moon and what?
First man in the moon.
First man in the moon. Good. Get 1 point. Yeah, okay. For your questions, the second one. Who promised to put a man on the moon? John F. Kennedy. Who is he? Yes, he is the president. Yeah, thank you. He is a president of the USA. What is USA in? Okay, the United States of America, right? Again. Number 1. Yeah. Okay, the same question as Uki. What is your opinion about the story that I told you? How do you feel? You like it or not?
Amazing because the man
Okay, it's amazing because the man walked on the moon, right? Yeah, so you can get into the space, right? Okay. For the first part, I will teach you about the vocabulary. So that will be like 2 times for the listening. For the first time, you need to listen to the audio of the vocabulary. Okay, and the second time you need to listen carefully and then repeat. I will say your turn, so you can repeat after the sound. Okay? For the first one.
Astronaut.
Wait.
Astronaut.
Okay, your turn. Astronaut. What is the part of speech of astronaut? Now, right? Oh, now look at our picture. Who are they? Who are they? They are an astronaut. So an astronaut is mean a person or a group of a person who travel to the space or who are working in the space, like together. And all of it, they are working on the moon, right? So they are an astronaut. Okay. So let's see our example.
They called in all the most experienced astronauts.
One more time.
They called in all the most experienced astronauts.
Now your turn together. They call. Okay. They call in all the most experienced astronauts. What does it mean? This man just called to an experienced astronaut, right, to help like all of the astronauts which in like on the moon. There are some problems happens in the moon, right? Why they are working. So this man just need to call to an experienced astronaut to help them. Okay? For the second one.
Spacecraft.
Okay, for the second time.
Spacecraft.
Again, space. And what is the part of space? Now. Okay, I will show you a short video right here. Again. What is it? It is? Yeah. This is a spacecraft. So a spacecraft is a vehicle that you need to use it to travel to the space or maybe the moon. Okay? Yeah. For an example.
The spacecraft is in real good shape.
One more time.
The spacecraft is in real good shape.
What did you see from the short video? What is this? Is it like beautiful? It's okay or not okay? It's in a good shape or not a good shape? In a real good shape. So maybe it's not like broken while you are traveling to the moon. Okay, so I want you to answer me. If you get into the space and there are something happen to you, like the spacecraft is broken, what do you do? What do you feel like? If you get into the space, there are no phone call, there are no homes, there are no food, you don't have anything. What do you do? You will die. Maybe not, because like another person who is on the earth will help you. We always have like chance to live, okay, but maybe it's just a little. Okay? So next one we will learn about the tense or the structure. Can you read it for me? 1, 2, go. Past. Continuous with. Okay, what is past continuous? Who can tell me? Okay, it's okay. Okay, so now let's see what is past continuous. We will use the past past continuous, when you want to talk about the action that's in the progress, like something that happened in the past, and when you use like the past continuous, you will like want to explain that you are doing something in the past. So you will imagine, you need to imagine why you use this tense, as you need to explain to your friend that what are you doing in the past. Okay? What is the structures of past continuous? Subject and louder. It's verb to be in the past. Was verb and followed by verb ing. Okay. For example, from this sentence, where is the subject? Jim Lovell. And where is verb to be? Verb to be, right? And where is the verb ing? Carrying out. Okay. And from this sentence, it means that while Jim Lovell was carrying out the mission, he was doing the missions on the moon. Like you need to imagine that he was doing the mission. Okay? And for the past simple, what is the structures of past simple? Subject followed by verb. Subject followed by verb. Verb to, right? Okay. From this sentence, where is the subject? They is the subject, and what is the verb to? Working. Not working. Words. Okay. Yes, this is the structures of past simple. And how about past continuous and past simple? Like we using it together in one sentence. There will be the part of past continuous and the part of past simple. Be careful. We will use these two sentences together when you want to explain that there are something happens, and there will be another action that's come and interrupt you. Okay? There will be something happen and then it interrupts you. Two actions in one sentence. Okay? From this line, there will be the white line here, right? This is the past continuous action. This is the actions of the past continuous. It means there are something that happened. You are doing something in the past. You was doing it, and then there will be like the past simple come and interrupt you. Okay? For example, where is the subject? Jim Lovell is the subject, right? And looked out, followed by ed is verb to. Yeah, the first one. And then the second one, why gas was escaping into the space, is the past continuous action. I will play the audio for you with a minute.
Jim Lovell looked out of the hatch while gas was escaping into the space.
One more time.
Jim Lovell looked out of the hatch while gas was escaping into the space.
From this sentence, which one is starting first? Like what is the first action in this sentence? In the red one or in the blue one? Blue or red that happened first? Red or blue? As I told you that the past continuous will explain that someone like Jim Lovell was doing something in the past, right? And then the past simple will come and interrupt this Jim Lovell. So which action that happened first? Simple continuous. Continuous. So from this sentence, it means that while the gas was escaping, from the hatch, okay? Jim Lovell just looked out of the hatch. He is in this hatch, right? And while the gas was escaping outside the hatch, he just looked out from the window, and then he just see that there was some gas that was escaping. So the action that Jim Lovell looked out and then see the gas is the second action that happened and interrupt the gas escaping. Okay, one more time. What is the first action that happened from this sentence? What is the first action? In the red one or in the blue one? In the blue one, right? And what is happened after that? Jim Lovell looked out of the hatch, and this is the hatch, right? A symbol will happen after that, or interrupt the continuous. Okay, or not okay? Okay. Okay. So good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. So for this part, we will learn about the passage. Okay. I will turn on the audio for you, so you need to listen to the passage carefully, and then we will look at the page by page together. All right? Are you ready? Yes. Okay. Let's go.
Apollo 13's commander, Jim Lovell, together with his colleagues Fred Hayes and Jack Swigert, were carrying out NASA's third mission to the moon. Lovell and Hayes were planning to walk on the moon, but this never happened. Lovell and Hayes were planning to walk on the moon, but this never happened. 13 minutes after the explosion, Jim Lovell looked out of the hatch. Gas was escaping into space. NASA reacted quickly. They called in all the most experienced astronauts, including Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
Okay. Yeah. So from our passage, just for the first round, what do you think the story is talking about? NASA and anything else? Astronauts. Okay, so let's see page by page. What are they talking about?
Apollo 13's commander, Jim Lovell, together with his colleagues Fred Hayes and Jack Swigert, were carrying out NASA's third mission to the moon.
Okay. Answer me. They're talking about NASA and astronauts. And how many astronauts? How many astronauts? 1, 2, and 3. So there are 3 astronauts in this mission. Okay? And then what happened?
Lovell and Hayes were planning to walk on the moon, but this never happened.
What are they planning to do? What are they planning to do? Planning to walking on the moon, okay? But is it happened? Is it happened? Yes or no? No, why? Why do you think that it's not happened from our passage? Why? Okay, listen one more time.
Lovell and Hayes were planning to walk on the moon, but this never happened.
From the passage it said this never happened, right? Because maybe there would be like some situation that happens while they are doing the mission, so they cannot walk on the moon at that time. Okay.
Nearly 2 days into the flight, things were going so smoothly that Joe Kerwin, on duty at Mission Control,
This is Joe Kerwin. Who is he? Who can answer me? Who is Joe Kerwin? What his job? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Who is this person? Who is he? Joe Corbin. What is his job? Where is he? Where is he? Okay. He is in the control, like the control room. Okay. So Joe Corbin is the person who controls the whole mission for this, for this time, this mission. And then, what happened?
Told the crew, the spacecraft is in real good shape. We're bored to tears down here.
What does this mean? The spacecraft is in real good shape. We're bored to tears down here. What does it mean? Who can tell me what does it mean? What is the spacecraft? What is the meaning of spacecraft? Yeah, what is the meanings of the spacecraft? What do you can you explain it to me? The thing that can fly to the space, right? Okay, so that's the meanings of the spacecraft. And this is the pictures of the spacecraft. And then Joe Corbin said, the spacecraft is in real good shape and we're bored to tear down here. So it means that everything in the space is like perfect and there are no problems to fix. Yeah, so there are nothing to fix. So he just said, we're bored to tear down here. Okay? There are nothing to do on the space because everything is perfect. Okay?
Several hours later, the crew heard a loud explosion.
But then, and then what happened? After Joe Corbin said, we're bored to tear down here, there is perfect, everything is perfect. Several hours after that, there will be some explosions. Okay, some explosion after he said that everything is perfect. Okay?
On board the spacecraft, warning lights were flashing. One of the fuel tanks was empty, and one of them was close to zero.
Yeah, and then when there are the explosions, the warning light is flashing. And after the warning lights flashing, there will be two gases, and then for the first one there is empty, but for the second one they're close to zero, almost runs out of the gas for the spacecraft. Okay?
13 minutes after the explosion, Jim Lovell looked out of the hatch. Gas was escaping into space.
How many minutes? One more time. Together, louder. 13 minutes. And then what happened? The gas was escaping from the hatch. This is the hatch. Okay? And then
NASA reacted quickly. They called in all the most experienced astronauts, including Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
And then NASA just called to who? Who are they? An experienced. Okay, together, experienced astronauts. Okay, good. All right. So that's about our passage. And then we will learn about the listening strategies as note taking. Okay, everyone together, note taking. Note taking. Okay, now this time I want you to bring your books and your pen or maybe your pencils. Okay. For the note taking. For the note taking. When do you need to use the note taking? Okay. The note taking will help you to catch catch the information while you are listening to the audio. Okay, while you are listening, you can use the strategies as note taking, as they will help you to catch the information that you want. Okay, like while you listening to the audio, you need to like write down or note something in your paper or maybe your book. Okay, in your own words. Okay, when you're listening to the audio, you need to write it down on your book in your own words. Okay, and that will be like 2 items for you. For the first one, you need to write the phrases and not full sentences. When you listen to the audio, you don't have to write all of the sentence or all of the words in the sentence. Just write down the words that you have heard from the audio. Okay? You don't have to write like the full sentences. For example, maybe like the audio just talking about the duty, how to carrying out, or the lights were flashing. So you can like write just only duty, carrying out, or maybe lights or flashing, like this. You don't have to write down the full sentences, okay? As they are like the listening part, you cannot catch all of the information, right? So the note taking can help you just write down some words that you understand and listen, okay? And then for the second one, just take note in your own words. As I told you, just write down or take note in your own words. Okay, in your own words. You don't have to write everything like the audio that you have heard from the passage. Okay, just write the words in your, yes, just write the words. For example, okay, for example, if in the audio it said NASA reacted to the problem very quickly, you can write or take the note in your own words as NASA reacted quickly, like this. You don't have to write every word in the sentence. Just write the thing or the words that you have heard. Okay? Okay. So, before we try to do it, before we try, how many items that you need to do when you listen to the audio? How many? That you have learned, as I told you. 1 and 2. Can you read the first one? Right? Phrases, not full sentences. And what is the second one? Take in your own words. Okay. Yeah, so now let's try. I will turn on the audio of the passage for you, so you need to like write down the words that you have heard, and I will like check. Okay? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes. Okay.
Apollo 13's commander, Jim Lovell, together with his colleagues Fred Hayes and Jack Swigert, were carrying out NASA's third mission to the moon. Lovell and Hayes were planning to walk on the moon, but this never happened. Nearly 2 days into the flight, things were going so smoothly that Joe Kerwin, on duty at Mission Control, told the crew, "The spacecraft is in real good shape. We're bored to tears down here." Several hours later, the crew heard a loud explosion. On board the spacecraft, warning lights were flashing. One of the fuel tanks was empty, and one of them was close to zero. 13 minutes after the explosion, Jim Lovell looked out of the hatch. Gas was escaping into space. NASA reacted quickly. They called in all the most experienced astronauts, including Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. They worked day day and night with the NASA engineers and the crew of Apollo 13 to find a solution.
How many words did you get? Oh. Okay. You want to listen it one more time? One more time. I will turn on the passage one more time. Okay?
Apollo 13's commander, Jim Lovell, together with his colleagues Fred Hayes and Jack Swigert, were carrying out NASA's third mission to the moon.
Just listen and write down the words that you heard from the audio. Okay?
Lovell and Hayes were planning to walk on the moon, but this never happened. Nearly 2 days into the flight, things were going so smoothly that Joe Kerwin, on duty at Mission Control, told the crew, "The spacecraft is in real good shape. We're bored to tears down here." Several hours later, the crew heard a loud explosion. On board the spacecraft, warning lights were flashing. One of the fuel tanks was empty, and one of them was close to zero. "13 minutes after the explosion, Jim Lovell looked out of the hatch. Gas was escaping into space. NASA reacted quickly. They called in all the most experienced astronauts, including Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. They worked day and night with the NASA engineers and the crew of Apollo 13 to find a solution.
Okay, so this time I will random some of you to tell me about the words that you have wrote down on your book, okay? I'll do the random. Okay, Jadip, what words did you get from the passage? Can you tell me? Can you read it to me? Yeah, just 5 words. Okay, tell me just 5 words. Yeah, so if it's a sentence, you can tell me the whole sentence. Okay. Flash and light. And yeah. And the last one. What happened? Okay. So this is 1 point. Okay, our random is like for 2 times. No, maybe not 2 times. write like the few sentences. For example, maybe like the audio just talking about the duty, how to carrying out, or the lights were flashing. So you can like write just only duty, carrying out, or maybe lights or flashing, like this. You don't have to write down the full sentences, okay? As they are like the listening part, you cannot catch all the information, right? So the note taking can help you just write down some words that you understand and listen, okay? And then for the second one, just take notes in your own words. As I told you, just write down or take note in your own words. Okay, in your own words. You don't have to write everything like the audio that you have heard from the passage. Okay, just write the words in your, yes, just write the words. For example, okay, for example, if in the audio it said, NASA reacted to the problem very quickly, you can write or take the notes in your own words as NASA reacted quickly, like this. You don't have to write every word in the sentence. Just write the thing or the words that you have heard. Okay? So, before we try to do it, how many items that you need to do when you listen to the audio? How many that you have learned? As I told you. 1 and 2. Can you read the first one? Right? Phrases, not full sentences. Okay. And what is the second one? Take in your own words. Okay. Yeah. So now let's try. I will turn on the audio of the passage for you, so you need to like write down the words that you have heard, and I will like share. Okay? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes. Okay.
Apollo 13's commander, Jim Lovell, together with his colleagues Fred Hayes and Jack Swigert, were carrying out NASA's third mission to the moon. Lovell and Hayes were planning to walk on the moon, but this never happened. Nearly 2 days into the flight, things were going so smoothly that Joe Kerwin, on duty at Mission Control, told the crew, "The spacecraft is in real good shape. We're bored to tears down here." Several hours later, the crew heard a loud explosion. On board the spacecraft, warning lights were flashing. One of the fuel tanks was empty, and one of them was close to zero. 13 minutes after the explosion, Jim Lovell looked out of the hatch. Gas was escaping into space. NASA reacted quickly. They called in all the most experienced astronauts, including Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. They worked day and night with the NASA engineers and the crew of Apollo 13 to find a solution. Apollo 13's commander, Jim Lovell, together with his colleagues Fred Hayes and Jack Swigert, were carrying out NASA's third mission to the moon.
Just listen and write down the words that you heard from the audio. Okay?
Lovell and Hayes were planning to walk on the moon, but this never happened. Nearly 2 days into the flight, things were going so smoothly that Joe Kerwin, on duty at Mission Control, told the crew, The spacecraft is in real good shape. We're bored to tears down here. Several hours later, the crew heard a loud explosion. On board the spacecraft, warning lights were flashing. One of the fuel tanks was empty, and one of them was close to zero. "13 minutes after the explosion, Jim Lovell looked out of the hatch. Gas was escaping into space. NASA reacted quickly. They called in all the most experienced astronauts, including Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. They worked day and night with the NASA engineers and the crew of Apollo 13 to find a solution.